All right, well, let's go and see how the internet did react to this game today. Going to start off with this tweet about Mikey Moore from the Spurs Express saying a goal contribution in each of the 2 pre-season friendlies so far, and that is one of our own Mikey Moore. And not only just a goal contribution in these 2 games, but also the behind closed doors friendly as well.
Yes, I could say the last 3, and that's very impressive. And he seems to be overcoming all the challenges. League One team, an SPL team, a Championship team. Now it's going to be the Premier League team.
Let's take down Bayern Munich first.
All right, Bayern first.
Well, the J League 1 team first, and then the best team in Korea.
Exactly.
And then the Bayern Munich team, and then the Premier League. Next up is Biro Sunrise from Korea saying, a front view. The kid who took a selfie is cute, and of course Sonny is cute too. The captain bows down and gives a high five to the last baby.
Very cute.
Always showing his love. Always showing his love as our human son. Love that.
Moment. Good moment for the kid.
Next one as well is Malduck7 says, I want to see you running as fast as your forehead in an attack situation. And this was, look at this. Sonny, look how fast he darts back to try and cover the defence.
Yeah, he's always a team player, Sonny, always doing the hard yards. Love that. And look at that, you know, it's a friendly, and yet he's still running back to help his team.
No much hard work is too much hard work for Sonny. Next up is from Tetrunk saying, it feels like it's more than just hype. I think we're in Bellingham territory, to be honest. And that was on reply to a Mikey Moore picture from the Fighting Cock saying mustard.
Watch out for the next World Cup, I would say.
You know, after the last friendly, that's what everyone was saying. World Cup 2026,
Exactly.
Come bring it on.
Mikey Moore's there. I mean, we surpassed Bellingham territory.
Spurs Army saying, very well taken goal. Hopefully this is the Yves Bissouma getting back to his best. And I do think he actually put in a very good display in the first half.
Yeah, he played really well. And it's something that he's been criticised for, you know, when he gets in those positions, doesn't usually have the quality or the composure to make it count, but did brilliantly for the goal and went round the keeper and it was a brilliant finish.
Yeah. Sonny_HM7 says, Son Heung-min, you worked hard today too. And just some pictures of him in the dugout with the QPR captain and the mascot, and then him on the pitch as well. What have we got next? Next up,
report.
Yeah, some ball. This was some ball. This was some ball from Kulusevski. Ball from Kulusevski playing in Timo Werner. Go up, Vinny. It's that one, yeah.
Yeah, this one.
This ball. Look at that ball.
Beautiful.
Outside of the foot. Put it right on a plate for Timo, and just Timo couldn't do much with it.
He didn't look comfortable there, Timo, but what a beautiful outside of the boot from Decky. Great vision. And he's had a few assists already this pre-season, so he's looking bright, really bright.
Mitch Fretton says, let me try that again. Positive players from the game against QPR. Jed Spence, Yves Bissouma, Luka Gunter, Mikey Moore. Players who I feel didn't do enough. Timo Werner, Manor Solomon. Wasn't impressed by Son or Johnson today either, but understand people think the latter played just fine. Still think he needs to do better with his final ball.
I think Johnson was pretty good.
Yeah, and I agree. I think there were a couple of times where he put in poor balls into the box, but I think for the most part, he actually had a really good game, and I felt like in the first half, he was our most threatening attacker.
And he put 2 on a plate for Sonny, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, you know, he needs to work on his final ball. Yeah, he could have had 2 assists, so it's not that bad, is it?
Yeah. Spurs Global tweeting out the goal that Bissouma scored today, and I thought it was a goal out of the top draw. Lovely link-up play with him and Kulusevski with the 1-2, and so coolly just took it round the keeper and just slotted it in the back of the net.
Yeah, he kind of... I'm trying to think of like a player who reminds me of, but it's just like a...
He reminds me of Bissouma.
It wasn't Bissouma. It was just the way he took that goal. Very un-Bissouma-like. I think Bissouma of last season would have probably wouldn't have tried the attempt around the keeper, would have shot and just had it saved for 4. So extra big composure is decent. And I remember at the beginning of last season, he was getting himself in these positions quite often, but never really took advantage of them. So let's hope this is a start of something for him.
It's important that Yves Bissouma builds that confidence, isn't it? Because we know an Yves Bissouma low on confidence he just won't play well. He's a very much a confidence player, in my opinion. As you saw at the first 10 games of the season, he started the season really well, and he was just thriving off that confidence. And once a few things started to go wrong with the red cards, the mistakes started to creep in, and he just never really recovered. So hopefully he can build that confidence now over this pre-season.
Yeah.
Another tweet from Kwaka, a South Korean, says, "It's pretty. Is it pretty or interesting?"
I think you're talking about the shirt.
I think, yeah, well, it could be. I think it's pretty and interesting.
Yeah,
maybe it's pretty interesting.
Pretty interesting. I'll go with that.
Next one is from Invert the Wing, saying, Mikey Moore again, another game, another goal contribution. Brilliant. Outside of the foot pass to set up Scarlett for the tap-in. 3 preseason games, 3 goal contributions. He's just 16 generational talent.
So you got the Invert the Wing seal of approval then?
Invert the Wing has been banging on about Mikey Moore probably since the back end of last season.
Yeah, he has. And he never gets anything wrong, does he?
Never. Didn't he get the first 7 or 8 scores, actual scores right of Spurs last season?
He was on a unprecedented run of form, I think it's fair to say.
Mr. Alex THFC says, Ange stopping for every single fan for a photo. Didn't miss a single fan out. What a man.
Lovely. That's a really nice touch from him. He doesn't have to do that, and that shows he likes to appreciate the fans as well. We see at the games how he always comes over to the fans, so that's a really lovely moment.
Never comes that close.
Never comes that close. You're right, but that's a lovely moment.
Lily White Rose says, absolutely superb Luca Gunter. And you know what, Luca Gunter, I think I had a debate with you about Luca Gunter and Josh Keeley at some point last season. I can't remember when it was. Maybe it was when we were doing that academy video. But I was so impressed whenever I saw him play for the under-21s. He's tall. He's got a big presence in the box. He's strong. He comes and claims those crosses really well. He's got a good shot-stopping ability. And I think he showed all of those facets today. Yeah,
brilliant. You have to say he was commanding. Made some good stops as well. So he seems to be making a big impression, doesn't he? So I wonder if we'll send him out on loan or if he'll be in the under-21s. But he seems to have a really bright future. Luca Gunter looks like a really promising keeper.
Yeah. We can skip the next one, but go down to Spurs OTM. This is Dane Scarlett, Mikey Moore assist. This was the goal. Look at that ball in from Mikey Moore. Look how many people it has to travel past as well. It's just beautiful. Pinpoint, and Dane Scarlett does really well to get ahead of the defender. And I'm not sure if I've got a tweet about this, but I was thinking this during when Dane Scarlett scored. Last game, he had his chances, didn't he? And he kept snapping at shots, and he looked like a player maybe a bit low on confidence. So I think that goal could be quite important for him.
Definitely. And he's a player who hasn't quite gone his way over the last year or so. A player who a lot of people were very excited about, scored loads of goals at youth level. And he's always a player who's kind of, whenever he's had the chance in the first team, he hasn't scored or done anything special. He's always made an impact. He's always been there.
I think he's always played well, yeah.
He's always been all right. So I think that hopefully that goal can really give him a lot of confidence. That must be his first goal for the first team, I think. I don't remember.
Maybe in a friendly, but I can't remember.
I don't think he has in a friendly. So really big moment for him, and he's still so young. So hopefully he can really kick on now.
Yeah. No Context Tottenham tweeting out this clip of Milesy and Bissouma after the game. This was brilliant. I don't know if you can hear it, guys. Can they hear it? No. Well, go to our Twitter and check it out, because it's just a very funny moment from the interview. What does Milesy say?
He says, you got any more goals in you?
Yeah, and Bissouma just laughs at him.
Come on, Biss.
Spurs Express saying, Ange on Bergvall's injury, just a bit sore. I don't think it was anything significant. And that is so great to hear, because he was literally the conductor in that when he was on the pitch, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was running the show. So we definitely don't want him injured, especially in pre-season where that's his time to settle in and get used to his teammates and get used to our style of play. So you don't want him missing that period. That's really important for his development and getting him used to Tottenham. So hopefully he's fit for the other pre-season games and be ready for the Premier League.
Spurs Web tweet out saying, Ange Postecoglou walks past Yves Bissouma doing his post-match interview and whispers, it was only a friendly BISS in a joke about the midfielder's first goal for the club. BISS needs to remember it was only a friendly. He needs to be doing it in the Premier League.
Absolutely, and that's what Ange was saying in his interview. He said he knows he's capable of it, and he just needs to show it more in the Premier League.
Yeah. Next one's from Axel THFC, just saying, mate, this was in the build-up to that Timo Werner chance. Just look at the football on display. Just look at this passing.
Beautiful, beautiful build-up. Then there's Decky and a great ball. So, yeah, brilliant stuff. Brilliant. And that wasn't the only time we saw that today as well.
Alfie THFC says Spurs play whenever it's time to produce what everyone pays a £35 a month for. Literally, they went down last game for certain people. They went down today. They even had to cut to the studio.
And also, people are saying that, last year as well.
Yeah, it did happen last year, yeah.
So it seems to be a consistent problem.
It's like whenever the system gets overloaded or something, they just fall down.
Yeah, they're charging a decent amount.
Basically
just for these friendlies, essentially.
Yeah.
And it keeps breaking down, so they've got to sort that out.
And then you've got like QPR also stream the game, and their system's just putting Spurs to shame.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Harry Brooks says lots of depth to Spurs play when they have the ball, but still really good distancing between players, lots of options, and it sees Spurs able to play through thirds in a variety of ways really nicely, less so since Bergvall went off. But when they lose the ball, there is not too much compactness, and QPR are able to play forward quite comfortably quite often.
Yeah, that is something I've noticed, that our pressing is good at times, but too often it gets too easily beaten, I feel, and that leads to good quality chances going against us. So I think Tottenham really got to work on suffocating the opposition. So I think we do a really good job in possession, especially in build-up, we do a really good job. And I think sometimes, especially maybe when we're forcing the play back to the keeper, our press is pretty good. But then sometimes we're not suffocating them enough, and they play for us way too easily, and we commit to the press, and it leaves too much space in behind.
I mean, that is something as well that we spoke about when Ange Postecoglou was just taking the job at Spurs about, is he too naive defensively? Do you think he is?
I don't know. I wouldn't say naive. I think he knows exactly how he wants to play. Or
maybe
he's open. I think he's definitely open, but it can work. But you just need the right players.
BLTHFC says July to November. This is Bissouma.
Ballon d'Or incoming.
Madders THFC says Bergvall already injured.
Yeah, this was all of us after the half an hour.
Literally, I was panicking. I'm not going to lie. Josh King says our need for a striker is nowhere near as bad as our need for two new wingers. Our options on both sides are running behind merchants that can't beat their man, can't hang on to the ball, and can't slow the game down when needed. Werner was a poor signing.
I mean, I don't disagree. I really don't disagree. I think people like Werner and Johnson have their qualities. Don't get me wrong, they're not bad players, and they have a time and a place, and they can definitely work in this system. I think we've seen that. But they also have exactly the problems that Josh is saying. They can't beat their man, especially when they're restricted to space and tight spaces. They're pretty ineffectual. So when it comes to Werner, he's a poor finisher as well. I think.
Did we not see Brennan beat his man a couple of times today, though?
Yeah, in a one-on-one situation when he had space.
Right.
Not when the space is restricted. He can do it, but he can't do it when in tight spaces, I feel. And what was he saying? He's saying they can't beat their man. They can't hang on to the ball. That's another one. And far too often, I think Brennan's getting a bit better at this, but Werner's not very good at it. When you give them the ball and they've got a defender in their back, too often they try and shield it and they're not strong enough to do it, and they lose the ball too often. And they're not strong enough to hang it on and keep possession, and it leads to way too many turnovers. So there is a problem, and that's why we probably do need at least another winger, I would say, at least.
Yeah. ONTHFC says Spurs play when more than 7 people use the app.
They're cooking Spurs players today, honestly. Yeah, it's not good for them.
And the last one is from Ryan Milne saying, was me in the bingo. Do I win a shirt? You win your props. You still didn't beat us. When you beat us, maybe you'll win a shirt, but you didn't beat us, unfortunately. So, is what it is. And we'll go to this last one. Ange Postecoglou from the THFC report. What happened there?
Looks like his sprinklers just turning on, caught in the crossfire. Oh, that, or he just saw Werner's first touch, maybe.
But that is the way that the internet did react to the 2-0 win over QPR today. Some great stuff in there.